Hello everyone, happy Thursday. This is Danielle with Bubbly Ducky for anybody who I haven't met before. And I am going to, while people get their little notifications and join, I'm going to pull up this video on the computer so that hopefully I can see, yep, there we go, so I can see your comments as you come in, and I won't see all of them right as they come in, but I'll at least be able to see them. The name I've come up with has not been good at all. So I am starting out with my lye solution right here. I have my hard oils here. I am going to attempt to do the heat transfer method, even though this is really not that hot at this point. I'm going to actually take the temperature here. See if it will work. Let's see. 103 degrees. Well, we're going to see how it goes. Might have to heat this up a little bit. We're going to try it out. Alright, so first things first, I'm pouring my lye solution into my hard oils. I'm going to use the heat transfer method, as I mentioned. And I'm almost certain that I'm going to actually have to heat up my other oils to make this work out, because I let my lye solution sit too long in an effort to be prepped. So as I may have mentioned once or twice before, lye plus oil equals soap. And at the end, you wind up with soap plus a little extra oil, no lye. Actually, I think I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to heat up. Yes, I am. Alright. Bear with me a second. I'm going to let that sit for a second while I plug in a heating pad. And put it underneath. It's an ugly heating pad. Sorry for the visuals, but it'll do the trick. Nothing like a professional video making here, right? Banging stuff around. That's how I do most things in my life. Alrighty. I should help move things along here. Oh, hi Courtney. You can't hear me because you have no sound on. I get that, but I'm going to say hi anyway. So today's soap is going to be, well, if anybody has seen the Sally soap I made a week or so ago, this is going to be very, very, very similar, but a little more human. So kind of like that ragdoll effect, except for we're stitching together skin. Oh, I meant to grab, oh, darn. I meant to grab my daughter's book that I based this on. So my daughter has a, what is it? I think it's a Guinness World Records book. It's either that or Ripley's Believe It or Not. It might be a Ripley's. She really, really enjoys those books. And there's a cake in there that looked like it was made from stitched together flesh. And I thought, ooh, that should be a soap. Why should it be a soap? Cleaning your skin with someone else's skin? That's not weird at all, right? I don't think so. So that's what we're going for here. And what fragrance should I use for this soap? Well, the fragrance you would use if you're trying to cover the smell of stitched together flesh, and that is Pretty Posies. So the fragrance I'm using, it's called Serenity. It smells like you're walking through a garden. So it has lavender, rosemary, rose, lilac, pear, clove, sandalwood, geranium, and cedarwood. I definitely made myself a cheat sheet. I would not remember all that. And it's a fragrance oil and essential oil blend. So it includes rosemary, cedarwood, and clove essential oils. And it really does. It just smells like you walked right through the botanical gardens. Just flowers everywhere. And I also am using that because this is going to be a layered soap, and floral fragrances tend to accelerate a little bit, so it'll help the batter get thicker faster. I wish I had an assistant right now. I'd have them heating up my other oil. Alright. I'm actually going to take this and throw it in the microwave real quick while I continue to stir this. Give me 10 seconds. Be right back. It wasn't even 10 seconds, right? Right. I'm sure of it. Alright, let's get this melting. Everything has done a really good job of melting so far, except for the coconut, or excuse me, the coconut butter. The cocoa butter. The cocoa butter is very solid. So in this bowl, or in this, whatever you want to call this, I have cocoa, I have shea, palm, and coconut. For those who haven't heard me go on this before, well, first off, for anybody who has heard me, I apologize. I'm going to repeat things. For anybody who hasn't, I use everything for a specific reason. So coconut oil has a nice lather to it. It's also naturally antibacterial. It's very cleansing. What else do I have? Palm oil. Palm oil makes a nice hard bar of soap. So it makes your bar last longer in the shower. The cocoa butter and shea butter, I think everybody knows those. They just feel good. They are good conditioning oils. They feel wonderful on your skin. And then in my soft oils, which are currently in the microwave, I'm about to go grab them. There are a number of good oils in there too. So we have olive oil, avocado oil. Both of those are soft oils that have a lot of nutrients in them, so great for your skin. Castor oil, which helps with the lather. And I know I have 7 total. I always wind up forgetting one. What is it? Shea cocoa. Oh no, that is 7. Ah, perfect. Look at me actually remembering everything except for how to count. That's not important, right? I was about to give Courtney, who is watching with her daughter, a warning that this is Halloween soap and maybe not a good before bed one, but I remember I put it in the description, so we should be in good shape. Alright, it's getting there. I'm seeing less cocoa butter lumps. Still some, but they're fewer and farther between. So in other exciting news, I do not have my 9 to 5 job tomorrow. I have a vacation day tomorrow because I am celebrating my 10th anniversary with my husband. So, I've been married for 10 years. We gave ourselves 10 years to get a honeymoon together because it's not something we had the money for when we first got married. So, we went to the Lake of the Ozarks, and if anybody's ever heard of Lake of the Ozarks, you know that is not a honeymoon. So we thought, okay, we'll give ourselves 10 years. And then it's 2020, and honeymoon is just not the way of things. So we did wind up going last week on just kind of a last-minute trip. Thank you, stimulus money. So we went down to Gulf Shores in Alabama, which we'd never gone to before. Neither of us had ever gone to the Gulf. We thought, hey, that sounds fun. Why not? Don't even know what's going on down there, but we know there's sun and surf, so let's go. And it was supposed to. We found out like a few days before we were going to go. It was supposed to rain the whole time because of the tropical storms. And let me tell you, I was praying like crazy that we would not have that because we were only going to be there for 2 days on the little sun. And it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous the whole time. Now, unfortunately, those tropical storms are much bigger now. But our trip was really nice. So I'm thankful for that part. And tomorrow will be a family day. So we will be celebrating our anniversary as a family with our daughter because that's what you do when you're parents, right? Especially when you just used up the babysitting on a trip the week before. I think that's everything. I'm really wanting to make sure I don't have cocoa butter chunks in here, so I'm just trying to be really, 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 really thorough. Alright, I think we're in good shape, which also means I'm going to get rid of the heating pad for the moment. I may use that later. Alright, so I'm going to go get the soft oils and add those in. Be right back, 10 seconds. If that. Alrighty, got the soft oils here. Just going to add those in. I'm planning on 3 layers for this soap, but it really just depends on how fast things set up. Gotta get all that oil out. Don't want to waste any of that good stuff. It's amazing how much you can get. I got a ½ ounce at least out of that. So each layer, I'm going to have 3 angled layers. All 3 layers are going to be the same color, but between them, I'm going to put a mica line and some squirts of red. So it's supposed to look like I said, stitched together. And then after all is done, I'm going to do some painting on it after I cut it. So that'll be tomorrow. And then as usual, it'll be ready in about 6 weeks. And if you're looking at a calendar, 6 weeks puts us right inside October. So perfect for Halloween. I'm just trying to make sure this is well incorporated because I do not want my oils and my lye separating. So I'm going to whisk it for a bit, and then I'm going to put a little bit in a squirt bottle. That's going to be red. I want that super fluid, which is why I'm doing it this way. For the rest of it, that is all going to be the same color, and it is going to be layered so it can be a little thicker. So I'm going to get the immersion blender out for that. This is super fluid. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And one thing I love about this recipe is that it comes together really well. So I formulate based on feel, not based on how well it works for designs. This recipe though, especially for a layered design, when I'm just whisking it, really does work really well. Now for other designs where I need it to stay fluid for a long time, this recipe does not work well and I have to move really fast, which makes me really nervous when I'm live. Alright. So, I've got my little pitcher here. I'm going to put just a little to the side, make it red, and then put it in a squirt bottle. Got my handy dandy ladle. I really shouldn't need much of this, so I think that's all I'm going to do. Let's see. I always do this. I always say, that's plenty, and then I grab more. Doesn't even matter what I'm doing. Every part of my life I do this. I am sure that is more than enough. Try not to waste any of it. Let's see. Going with it. I'm going with it. Okay. So that's eventually going to wind up in the squirt bottle here, but for now, I'm going to add a bit of red. I want it to be pretty red. I'm going a little heavy on the red because I want it to bleed a little bit so that it looks like it's bleeding a little bit. I think it's actually going to need a little more red. So this little whiskey thingamabob I got going here will incorporate the color really well without actually blending up the soap all that much, so it'll stay nice and thin. I forgot to give this thing makes a buzzing sound warning. I'm actually going to use a little bit of a different red. So this, I got a red going on here that's a little on the pink side. Well, maybe I'll just use more. I'll start with more and see how that goes. This is Really Red from Nurture soap for anybody who's interested. And I have Trial by Fire as well, which is like their super popular newest red right now. But I'm using Really Red purposely because I'm hoping it'll bleed. Which means that over time it'll kind of spread through where I didn't exactly put it. Going to first off make a mess with this. And yeah, I think I'm going to add a little bit of the Trial by Fire too. Hoping you can understand me. I start mumbling with these things. You guys aren't right in front of me, so I start talking to myself, which is not the goal here. The goal is to talk to you. Get a different scoopy thing. Here's scoopy thing. Alright, I'm at a loss for scoopy things. I will use this. This will work just fine. Not made for this purpose, but it'll do the job. That was my my rose makey thing. Technical term, I'm sure. Little nail. It's a little nail, yeah. Used to make roses on with icing or soap. Something that I've yet to fully master, but I do like to play with. Alrighty, feeling much better about this red. Wipe up a little bit of this mess here. Ooh, or make more of it. Alright. There we go. Alright, so I have this little squeezy bottle here that from other people's recommendations, I have put this little plastic thing to line it to hopefully make this squeezy bottle a little easier to clean, because it is surprising how hard it is to clean up soap. So it's kind of like a bottle liner like some of you may have used for an infant at some point. Or maybe now. I don't know. Don't know what you got going on in your life. Could be doing that right this moment. We could be bottle lining together. Alright, I think that's about as much as the bottle liner is going to hold, even though I have a little bit left. Hopefully this thing will stay on well enough that I don't just squirt the entire lid out. Alright, put that to the side and work on my main stuff here. Okay, so I'm going to start out, I think I'm going to go straight to this actually. So I'm using my old ugly inversion blender because my new pretty one is not, it's out of commission. Alright, banging to commence, apologies. Alright, gotta get the air bubbles out. So I mixed up my own little custom blend of colors that I'm hoping is going to look kind of flesh colored, but I might have to experiment with this a little. I'm going to just start a little at a time and see how it goes. There we go. Okay, it's starting to look good. Try not to get air bubbles, and this is just ever so slightly. Alright. Let me get my whisk in there too. It's actually looking pretty good. I thought I was going to have to adjust a bit, but I'm kind of liking where I'm going here. And I thought to myself, you know, there's so many skin tones in the world. I don't have to make one that is similar to my pale self. There's so many others to choose from. You know, if I mess up a little bit, it's okay. I can just go with one of the other ones. And then I realized that this is the only skin tone that I can make that will completely 100% just look like a skin tone. Any other skin tone I make is going to make my soap look like a dessert because, you know, chocolate. It's good stuff. So, yeah, I'm stuck with this. This is it. Otherwise, it'll just look like cherry syrup on a chocolate something or other. Oop, sorry for that. It's my turn off my daughter's light alarm, which hopefully my husband is attending to. I'm really digging this color. Alright, I'm gonna put a little more in. Alright, now I'm just going to mix it up a little to try to thicken this up so that my layers will set up quicker. Alright, that should be good because I am also going to stir each layer individually. So with that being said, I will scoot my blender right over there. Don't even have to scrape it out because I'm about to use it again. Alright, as I said before, I want slanted layers. I also want them to be uneven slanted layers. So, I'm going to grab a couple of these wood blocks that are covered in old soap. I'm going to set up my molds as such. So I want the first layer to have a little bit of a slant, so I'm just barely putting them on the molds. And then the next layer is going to have a pretty crazy slant. And then the rest of it just go on top of those. Alright, so I'm splitting this off. There we go. I feel good about that amount. So I'm going to set this over to the side. Banging to commence again as I get air bubbles out of here. My apologies. Alright, now I have my fragrance oil, and I have it in a little jar. It looks a little funky because I have it mixed with kaolin clay. Kaolin clay does a few things. So first, it adds a little slick to the soap. So if you shave with the soap, it's very helpful to have the kaolin clay. It also will make the fragrance stick a little better. And then last, it will make the soap set up a little faster. So just all sorts of benefits there. Alright, I'm putting just roughly a third. It does smell, I'm telling you, it smells like you're walking through the botanical gardens. It is just a super gardeny smell. So, for anybody who missed it earlier, this is Serenity. That's the fragrance oil name. And it is a mix of lavender, rosemary, rose, lilac, pear, clove, sandalwood, geranium, and cedarwood. 3 of those things are essential oils, not fragrance oils. Alright, gonna beat this a little bit. You can see it thickening up. Man, maybe you can. Hopefully you can. Alright, I feel good about it. I feel good about it. Again, I do not need to scrape this thing off because I'm going to be using it for the same thing again in a minute. So I'm just going to pour this in here. Alright, a little in here. I think I actually want a little more on this layer. Yeah, I don't think that was quite enough. I'm going to add a bit more. Bang that down a little bit. Sorry, I forgot the warning. Okay. Alright, I wonder if that's going to be enough. Yeah, it will. Okay, I'm going to bang again to get some air bubbles out. Excuse me. Well, this is like the perfect amount to get air bubbles in. Alright, going to add some more. Oh, that's my problem. Alright, I've officially lost my mind. Don't mind me. This was a single mold recipe. I'm thinking, man, I don't have enough soap. Well, that's why, because it was only supposed to be in 1 mold, not 2. Ah! Alright, excuse me while I fix my mistakes. So this needs to all go in here. Oh my. Well, this is, you know, it's a perk of doing this live, right? You get to see when I screw up, too. At least this is an easy mistake to fix, at least at this stage of the game. If I would have gone much longer, that would have been really bad. I was thinking, man, I did not make enough soap. No, I did not, because it was on purpose. Alright, banging to commence. And I apologize. I'm going to walk away from this for about 30 seconds because I did not hear my husband turn off my daughter's light. So, excuse me. I am so sorry. Just a moment. Alright, sorry about that. Gotta do my mom thing. Alright, so I have my first layer, which hopefully you can see. Then I have my squeezy bottle here. I'm going to just make some drops along the top that I'm hoping are going to look kind of like drips. Alright. Just a couple little lines there. And then I'm going to add a mica line. I'm going to add a little red and a little black. I'm just going to kind of do a little in the middle. It's not going to go all the way to the edges. Not black. I think I said black. I meant brown. So I see a few people watching this video that I should have told you to just text my hubby, tell him to get upstairs and do what I need to do. I could have called in teamwork. Think about that one next time. Alright. So what this is going to do is it's going to make it look like a little line between the layers. Gives a little definition. Also looks a little scabby. At least that's my goal. Again, I'm using the really red from Nurture because I want it to try to bleed a little bit. Alright, so that's enough red. It's starting to settle in a way that I don't want it to. So I'm now going to go and get a little bit of brown. And that is because scabs, depending on their level of dryness, have a little red and a little brown. I think I need a little more. Always really difficult to get into all the little spots when I have a layered soap. Gravity is not working in my favor. Alright, that's looking good. A little bit right there. Okay. Like I said, always a little bit more. You can never be satisfied. Alright, now I'm going to go in with a paper towel and clean up the edges a bit because I do want the soap to have pretty clean sides, which is pretty difficult to do with mica lines, at least for me, because I'm messy. But I'm going to do my best here. So I'm going to use a little rubbing alcohol on a paper towel and just try to get in there and clean up some of that powder. Yuck. I mean, pretty, but yuck. side should be pretty good. All right. Now, I will hope that this sets up pretty quick while I move on to the next layer. Based on how fast the next layer is setting up, that shouldn't be a problem. Actually, I'm going to get, well, first I can move this out of the way. Ugh. I'll get my heating pad back out because heating pads, heat in general, encourages the soap to set because it's going through a chemical process right now, and that chemical process generates heat. It's also caused by heat. So, what is it? Thermodynamic? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm more of an artist. I just learn as I go. It's setting up pretty good. Yeah, I think I'm good to start working on the next layer. Alright, so I needed to again add a little bit of the fragrance oil, about a third. I'm not a floral person. I'm not a fan of floral fragrances, but this one actually works for me. I like it. It's floral, but it's not like, you know, roses punching you in the face floral. It's like a gentle spring afternoon at the botanical gardens. All right, more noise coming. A little bit of a kick there just to encourage it to thicken up, which it is absolutely doing. All right, it's gonna work well. All right, without fail, every time I'm making soap and I'm all gloved up and I got my stuff going on, I always wind up with an itch on my face. If you ever hear me getting frustrated, it's probably not the soap, it's probably the itch on my face. Alright, so this one I want a crazy drastic angle. So I'm shoving that block pretty far under there. Alright. And you can see how thick that is, which is perfect. So we want this to set up, and that's the way to do it. Kind of just clumping it in there, and then I'm going to shimmy it where I want it. Alright, let me see what I think about this once it's shimmied a bit. Oh, feeling good about it. Perfect. Yes, love it. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna slightly like pop the top a little bit so I can get it a little flatter. bounce it in here. And all those little bumps you'll barely even notice when I cut it. Soap is surprisingly forgiving. Okay, got a couple more rows here. I'm actually trying to dig it in a little bit. Okay. Got that red in there. I hope you can see that. Let me try to center that a little bit. Don't mind my ugly block and ugly mat here. Okay, now we're going to do another layer of this mica line. Little red, little brown. I'm putting them together this time because even though I really liked it last time, I can't leave well enough alone and I like to experiment. That looks good. That was a lot more efficient sprinkling than last time. I'm liking it. Sure am. Alright, so that's going to take just a little bit of time to set up. And while it does that, I will mix up the last layer here. And the last layer does not have to be thick at all. In fact, I don't really want it to be all that thick because there's nothing that has to sit on top of it. So for you who are less familiar with this, soap takes 6 weeks to cure. It takes about 24 hours to saponify hard enough to where I can cut it. Saponification is the process it goes through to become soap. So right now it's not soap. So right now it is a bunch of ingredients that need to go through that chemical reaction before becoming soap. Don't wash your hands with this stuff right now. It will not work. Gotta give it time. So in about 24 hours, give or take, sometime hopefully tomorrow night, possibly on Saturday, just depending on how the soap behaves, I will be coming back to, sorry, I'm just scraping out my blender here. I'll be coming back to cut this, and I'll do that live. So that way we can see how the design worked out inside. And then about 6 weeks from now, it will actually be available for sale on bubblyducky.com. Now, technically, you can sell it at about 4 weeks, and it's not really the end of the world. I like to give mine a little extra time because I want to make sure it's cured really, really well, really thoroughly, so that it will last you a long time. You can use this after a few days, but it's not going to be fully cured. So what that means is it winds up turning to mush in your shower instead of being a nice, long-lasting bar of soap. And I don't want you guys to have mush. I want you guys to have a long-lasting bar of soap. So it takes patience. But if you want to be one of the first people to know when this is ready for sale, make sure you follow my Facebook page. You can also sign up for my email newsletter. You can do that just by going to bubblyducky.com. There's a little sign up at the bottom of every single page. Very, very, very bottom. Alright, last layer here. So I got the last of my kaolin clay and fragrance oil, which looks a little like Irish cream, if I do say so myself. I'm not going to recommend eating it, but it does look kind of yummy. Or drinking it, I guess. You don't really eat Irish cream, you drink it. Unless it's on ice cream, in which case you eat it and it is splendid. Highly recommend. Warm brownie, cold ice cream, Irish cream on top, like a syrup. If you are over the age of 21. I'm just trying to make sure that fragrance oil is fully incorporated, because if fragrance oil is not fully incorporated, it can do a number of strange things. I've made much less of a mess than normal. I am proud of me. All right. Let's see if that's set up enough here. It is. Whew, okay. I always fill in the low part first, partially because it's going to get there anyway. Partially because if everything starts moving about, I want it to have some support. All right. So there are going to be 10 bars of this soap. That is it. It's fairly small right now, so that's kind of what I do for most bars. There's some that I make a few more of. Like Sally, I made 20 because I feel like people are going to really go for that one. But for the most part, it's 10 bars. So if you do want a bar of my soap, I generally recommend buying it pretty quick after it comes out, because if it winds up being popular, there's only 10. It takes 6 weeks to make them, so if Halloween comes around and they get all bought out, I'm not making more because it won't be cured until Christmas. And I'm pretty sure this is not a soap that's going to be purchased much for Christmas. But yeah, I could be wrong. It could be a neat gift for a horror movie lover such as my husband, possibly my daughter. Alright, so I'm going to put a few splatters on top, and I think I'm actually going to splatter them, so I'm about to make a big mess. How do I do this? Do it this way. Okay. I probably should put it on the other hands. There we go. Oh, that's going to be such a mess, but I love it. Oh, this is satisfying. Gotta try not to miss my, or I have to try to miss my outfit. I have like one pair of jeans left that fits and doesn't have holes in it. Last thing I need is blood splatter. It's okay, worth it. Can't flick this hand. This hand doesn't work right. It says it doesn't have a problem with it. I'm just super right-handed. Alright, little more. Alright, I think that's enough. If I go any further, it's just going to be red on top. It's not going to be splattered anymore. Alright, so that is it, guys. I'm going to let this cure for 24 hours. And then I'm going to be super excited when I get to cut it live with you guys. So turn on the notifications. You will know when I go live, which will hopefully be right around this time tomorrow, right around 9 p.m. tomorrow. Until then, have a fantastic Friday. Thank you so very much for joining me tonight. I hope you love it. Oh, I just see a question. Okay, what is this scented with? So, this is a floral fragrance. It smells like a little garden. Because, you know, what better to cover the smell of flesh, right? So it is a mix of lavender, rosemary, rose, lilac, pear, clove, sandalwood, geranium, and cedarwood. And then the rosemary, clove, and cedarwood are actually essential oils. So this is an essential oil and fragrance blend. It really smells great. I am not a floral person, but like typically floral smells give me a headache and just generally make me upset. And this really doesn't do that at all. It just smells like a nice walk on a spring day. So highly recommend. Oh, I'm glad that sounds good. All right. Well, again, I hope to see you guys tomorrow night. Turn on those notifications. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a good Friday. Bye.